Welcome back to Pukekohe in the MSC Tasman Revival Series. The stars of the weekend are the fabulous cars, and some of them aren't necessarily Formula 5000s.
Peter, the BRM has certainly got some history in Formula 1, and you've got one here.
Yeah, we're very pleased to be able to purchase one and bring it to New Zealand. It's quite a unique car, and from my understanding it's the only Formula 1 BRM in the Southern Hemisphere.
How did you come about buying a car like this?
Well, the reason why we chose the BRM brand is it's associated with a product that we sell in our company today. The product is branded Rubrio and Rockwell, and they're the same people that made the BRM F1 car. So we have some connection between the two companies.
You were telling me earlier that BRM made a motor, I think 1.5 litre, that had big horsepower.
Yeah, again, that's one of the reasons why we bought the car, is they were very, very innovative engineers in their day. And the best example we can think of is in around the 1950s, they developed a 1.5 litre V16 engine. It had pistons the size of a golf ball in it, and that particular engine developed 600 horsepower at 11,000 RPM out of 1.5 litre engine, which we think is pretty spectacular for the day.
The Automich taking the lead, Posey second, Winterstein third, and it's Davey Hobbs fourth. These Formula A cars are racing at Lime Rock for the second time.
Undoubtedly, my favourite car from the weekend is this fabulous GM3/9.
Roger, pretty impressive car here, driven by Graham McRae previously, a lot of history in it.
There is. This car goes back to Formula 5000 status in Australia, where Graham won the Australian Grand Prix with it, then converted it into a centre seat Can-Am car to run in the American series in the early 80s.
And he did that reasonably well.
Graham, always a great driver. This car has got ground effects with it, which was pretty braking technology at the time. And although it wasn't as successful in centre seat Can-Am form as it was in 5000 form, it was still a very period piece of car.
The car sounds beautiful from the outside. What's it like to drive?
It's very good, actually. It's very stable. It's hard sprung because of the ground effects, but it does everything that it should do, yes.
If you look around the pits here, there's a lot of history from previous years here, isn't there?
This is just fantastic for what it is, and you can't get a better selection of period cars than you can here.
The cars are light, the weight's in the rear, and by the time you feel the back swinging around, it's usually too late to do anything about it. It's all finesse and artwork.
Yes, it's a 1972 GM1. It's the number 2 tub. It was imported to New Zealand by Roger Williams about 6 years ago, and 2.5 years ago I acquired it from Roger. I was very lucky to do that. We've done 5 meets in it so far, and we're having a wonderful time. It's just a great machine.
This car was originally many years ago used in the Tasman series by an American, I believe.
Correct. A gentleman by the name of Evan Noyes. Evan owned the number 2 tub, which is our car, and the number 3 tub. And the number 3 tub is currently in New Zealand and being built up into another GM1.
Just when you look down the pits here and you see the name Graham McRae, he was a brilliant engineer in his time, wasn't he?
Amazing guy, and still is. You know, I've been talking to him recently. He's so switched on and so clever. It's unbelievable.
You say you've done 4 or 5 meetings in this car. How have you found driving these cars?
Oh, it's a wonderful thing to drive. Obviously, if you push it to the limit, then it becomes a lot more difficult. At this stage, we're taking it easy, but just a beautiful thing to drive, you know, to have all that horsepower behind you, and yeah, a wonderful experience. Couldn't wish for more.
Like driving Grand Prix cars. And world champion Graham Hill pinned it down when he said, "We're executing a very fine balancing act on the edge of disaster."
It was made in 1973. There were 13 of them. That's the first one. Denny Holm used it in all of 1973, and then 74 Mike Hailwood drove it. The end of 74, Denny retired, and it was part of his package or whatever. It ended up back in New Zealand, and he used it for a number of demonstration events until he died, and then it went in the Te Puke Motor Museum.
And it won a few Grand Prix?
It won the Swedish Grand Prix in 1973. I was very lucky last year to go back to Sweden and And the number of people that come up to you, 45-year-old guys, 50-year-old guys, and say, "We were here when this car beat Ronnie Peterson." You know, it was a fantastic feeling going there. It was a very old circuit, hadn't been used much, but all the stands were still there from 1973. It was good. Like driving through a ghost town. It was really nice.
And you've taken the car back recently, back to England, I believe.
Yeah, before we went to Sweden, we went to England. I entered for Monaco Historics, but didn't get accepted through one reason or another. But I still went along and watched with my friends. And after seeing $1 million worth of damage in 10 laps, I was actually more than happy that I wasn't there. But it was a bloody great experience to go. And we went to Brands Hatch and then went on to Sweden. Just come back here for this. And while it was over there, I actually got invited to the Goodwood Festival of Speed this year. So it's going back in the container to do that, plus another couple of races. Then come back here in 2010 for the McLaren Festival at Hampton Downs.
Well, that McLaren Festival at Hampton Downs is going to be an absolutely sensational meeting, one not to miss, with Formula 5000 and Can-Am cars from all over the world contesting that meeting. After that interlude, to have a look at some of the history around the weekend at Pukekohe, we continue our Race 2 coverage off the back of the safety car for that incident with Steve Ross, our onboard camera car. There he is there. He's a lap down to the race leaders. Canadian Jay Estra continuing to lead here, having made the pass on Kenny Smith down the back straight early on in the race. It's Estra, Smith, Stan Redman, Stuart Lush in that yellow number 22, McRae GM1, and Englishman Mark Dwyer. Another one of the Lola T332s back on board with the car that brought out the safety car, Steve Ross. 1969 Lola T142. And we're going to take a lap of Pukekohe from the roll hoop. Off the hairpin. And there's two classes in the MSC Tasman Revival Series as we take this lap with Steve Ross. The outright, and there is a smaller class for some of the older cars like the 69 Lola T142. Let's take a lap with Ross down underneath the GT Radials Bridge. Through the S's into Castrol, that was Englishman Mark Dwyer. It just went by. Fabulous shots there with Steve Ross. It's Kenny Smith trying to outbrake the Canadian. Down at the hip, and he's got the inside line. Gets the power down off the exit. Kenny Smith through to the lead. So Smith and Estra, they've passed each other a couple of times. Estra's going to have a look down the outside. And he does it around the outside of Kenny Smith into turn number one. Unbelievable pass from the Canadian. I mean, that pass is hard to make in a modern car. But Estra has just done it in a car that is 30 plus years old. And he's extending that advantage over Kenny Smith here. Kenny Smith took out the opening race honours of the weekend on Saturday from Estra, Redmond, Lush, Richards and Dwyer. He's looking to turn the tables on the Kiwi veteran here at Pukekohe Race 2 for the MSC Tasman Revival Series. The Tasman Grand Prix weekend at Pukekohe. And there's the checkered flag. Estra takes the victory, 1-1 between himself and Kenny Smith. Kenny Smith second, Stan Redman third, Stuart Lush in fourth. Well, Jay Estra with the victory. His fastest lap was a stunning 55.47. Kenny Smith second, Stan Redman third, followed by Stuart Lush, Mark Dwyer and Alistair Russell. In seventh, it was Tony Richards, followed by Ian Clements, Sefton Gibb, Aaron Burson, David Abbott and Englishman Frank Lyons.
Stan, well done, came home third.
Thank you very much. It was blinking hard. Third, I can tell you, just about killed me out there. It's too hot here.
You look a bit tired.
Oh, you want to try it?
Coming over the top, it's pretty scary in one of these.
Yeah, well, yesterday I came over the top with no wing. I broke the wing. I went in underneath the Canadian, took my wing off, and I was running with no wing, and it was lifting off the deck about 2 inches. I reckon I couldn't steer anything. But today it wasn't too bad, you know. Well, I want to keep it in one piece for the big race. See if I can get up there again. You know, we'll see what happens.
Well done for third.
Thank you very much.
Kenny, looks like the Canadian driver got you on the start line, and you tried, but second.
Yeah, he's just got too much power. I mean, it's very noticeable from a standing start. Like, once you come out of a turn, he goes for about 300 yards, opened up about 6-7 laps, then it stays even. But at least I had a dip at him on brakes from a long way back down the end and got back in front. But once he got over the hill, he just grunted it again.
Looks like you tried on turn 1.
I did. I tried, but, you know, it's just a bit hard. But, hey, I'm enjoying it. It's good to have a race with someone, you know. In the 15 lapper, he'll know he's there. He'll know he's there, that's for sure.
Jay, congratulations, your first race win in New Zealand.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Just tell us about the start, because you had local hotshot Ken Smith beside you.
Well, he was actually in front of me, and I was very lucky to be behind him, because I'm slowly learning this racetrack, and I was able to follow him through turn 1 and learn a bit about how to go through turn 1. It was very good. Yeah, Kenny's a very clean driver, very, very quick.
Is this racetrack quite a bit different to the tracks you got at home?
Yes, it's got a couple of really great high-speed corners, which I really love. Although I think things can get a little bit dicey coming onto the straightaway if you miscalculate. You can probably hit the wall pretty easily. But I love this racetrack. Yeah, this is the best racetrack I've been on in New Zealand, definitely so far.
And the car seems to have quite a bit of power as well.
Yeah, the engine's working good. The engine's working quite good. I'm lucky.
Stan Redmond's Lola T332 was built in 1973 and wears chassis number HU16. Bought by Australian racing legend Kevin Bartlett from the Lola factory for the 73-74 Tasman series, it raced in Australia and New Zealand in Chesterfield colours, and also won the 1979 Australian Grand Prix and the Drivers' Championship.